Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new IDontWorkHereLady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first one is titled, Get the gas pump number yourself and stop being a jerk to the lady. I'm not sure if this belongs here, so delete it if necessary. I'm not normally very confrontational with other customers when I'm out, but this one slipped out. I went to a nearby convenience store one evening a few years ago to get cigarettes for myself and my wife. I walk into the store and get in line behind an old, grubby-looking guy with a bad attitude. The cashier asks him if she can help him. He says he wants to put some money on one of the pumps. She asked him, which pump? He rudely replies, I don't know. I don't work here. Maybe it was the years of dealing with rude customers in the food service and call center industries, but without even thinking, I blurt out, why don't you go outside and check instead of being a jerk to her? Grumpy guy spins around, points at me and yells, mind your own business. I was a little dumbstruck. Not because he yelled at me, but because I was still processing the fact that I spoke up for someone. To his credit, Grumpy Guy sticks his head out the door, yells to one of his companions for the pump number and returns to the counter and completes his transaction. When I get to the counter, I notice both women behind the counter are staring at me. I don't know if they were scared of me, shocked that Grumpy Guy was so rude to them, or shocked that someone had defended one of them from a rude customer. I do know that it felt good to put a jerk in his place. The next one is titled, I've found a new way to annoy Karens. To help pay the bills until I get called back to work, I got a job as a personal shopper. It's a bit rough sometimes, but it does get me out of the house for a few hours, and because it's the holidays, it does bring in some decent money. Our company has us wear black t-shirts with the company logo along with face masks due to the bug, but other than that you can wear pretty much anything you want as long as you look professional. Normally people don't bother me, especially seeing as 1, I don't have a name tag identifying me, and 2, I'm clearly looking at my phone, which has my customer's order on it, and I'm also communicating with them. Today, I got an order at a certain store that requires its employees to wear a red shirt. Luckily, I had been to this particular store many times, both for order and for myself, and I'm friendly with most of the staff, including the managers. This particular order required me to go through self-checkout. The customer had already ordered everything, and I just needed to pick everything up. Once I got all clear from the employee running the self-checkout lane, I went to one of the closed checkout lanes to bag up the order so I could get it to my car. Again, nothing too unusual. I was wearing my black company shirt, a nice pair of jeans, a comfortable pair of sneakers and a thin jacket. Not a scrap of red on me, and the light for the checkout lane was turned off. As I was packing up, I heard an oncoming cart, and then the sound of plastic and cardboard. I looked up to see our friendly neighborhood Karen unloading her 3 overloaded carts in the closed checkout lane I was packing things away. I groaned. I knew my friends at this store were going to have a major headache, just from how she wasn't really paying attention to me and couldn't see I am not an employee of this store. I finished bagging my things and waited for her to make eye contact with me. And when she did, I swear I heard the theme for The Good, the Bad and the Ugly playing. She pointed at the register and nodded as if I was a dumb person who didn't know what she was supposed to be doing. I just picked up my bags, waved at her with a smile and walked off, leaving her stuck there and me with a new way to get back at the Karens. The next one is titled, I'm in the Army. This might be a little long, and I apologize, but I think you'll like the twist on this one. When I was in the final 2 months of my high school senior year, I worked at a McDonald's, as most teenagers would. However, when I graduated, I enlisted to the United States Army. So, as one would obviously guess, I terminated my employment at McDonald's. This was in 2005. Fast forward to 2008. I am 3 years into my service, give or take a couple months. I am stationed in Camp Carroll, South Korea. Now, if you don't know how time works, let me explain. Because I am on the other side of the planet, nighttime there is daytime here. Also, phones. Where we have a certain style for our system, the South Korean system is a different phone number style. This information is important. It's 3 a.m. for those who don't understand military time. I get a call on my Korean phone. Me equals me DM equals dumb manager, very simple, yet effective. Me, groggy, hello? DM, hi, is this me? Yes ma'am? DM, this is DM from the McDonald's in hometown. So didn't come in today. Can you? I was taken back. I haven't worked there for almost 3 years. Me, are you serious? DM, yes, do you have a problem with that? I could hear that, I am the big shot, and you shouldn't talk to me like that, in her voice. Me, yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I quit 3 years ago to join the army. I am stationed in South Korea. So, tell me, how the duck did you come across, A, my file and B, my number? DM, your father gave me your number. Me, as you were dialing the odd number of numbers in the phone, with a message telling you that it's an international call, and my record showing I haven't been showing up for the last 3 years, did it ever occur to you that something was ducking strange? DM, well, that attitude isn't going to sit well with you review. Me, I don't duck work there. To hell with your review. I hung up my Korean phone and got up to get ready for PT. I told my platoon sergeant and squad leader what happened, and they said they probably would have been the same. The next one is titled, An IDWHL Christmas Kindness Story. Background, yesterday Western PA had the most snow since 2009. My 2016 Corolla had barely passed inspection the day before, so I was planning on getting new tires in the next week and new rotors and pads in January. We were low on milk and diapers and so had a Walmart pickup appointment. It was too late to cancel, and I thought I had time to get in and out before the snow got too bad. I was wrong. I slid down a hill and hit an SUV stopped at a light, scuffing their bumper and destroying my car. I was able to drive it off the road and park it. I had a wagon in the trunk and decided to still try to pick up my groceries. I checked in on the app in spot 4 and tried to call, but it went to voicemail. A minute later someone came up to park in my spot that I was standing in with my wagon. Obviously, a man standing in a parking spot in a snowstorm didn't register with him. So, I moved. As I was standing on the sidewalk, snow swirling, an old lady looked at me like she wanted to ask a question. She rolled down her window and started complaining that no one answered the phone. I gestured to my clothes no Walmart logo in sight and said, I don't work here. I tried calling them too and it went to voicemail. I also said that I was waiting myself and had just crashed my car. About 5 minutes later, she asked if I wanted to wait in her car. It was snowing so hard, my wagon was filling with snow. So, I said yes. I got in the car and told her that I lived about 5 miles away and planned on walking back with my wagon of groceries. She knew the neighborhood where I lived well, foreshadowing, and though she lived in the opposite direction, she offered to drive me and my groceries home in a snowstorm. I said yes. After another 10 minutes, they loaded our groceries in the car, and I put my wagon in. In the way to my house, we talked about politics, COVID, and our families. Her parents went to the school for the deaf that is about 100 yards from my house, and she worked as a sign language interpreter. On the way, she pointed out where she used to live. She told me where her children lived and how much the neighborhoods had changed. She also talked about how she just cancelled cataract surgery due to COVID and said she really needed it. That made me wonder about the safety of her driving me. But beggars can't be choosers. We made it home safely and I brought my groceries in. My wife brought our 3-year-old out to thank her while I brought stuff in. I.e. gave her a Christmas card. Thanks Pat from Johnstown. At 88 years old, still my Christmas angel. The next one is titled, Woman Grabs My Girlfriend and I Snap. So, me and my girlfriend were out just trying to enjoy our day. So, we go to a local bookstore. It's a small place and the owners are friends of my girlfriend's family and we help out every now and again, so we have a key to get in when they're closed. A woman sees us opening the door and asks if we're open. I tell her we're just running errands for the owners and that the store isn't open. She gets upset at me demanding we let her in, saying, it's just me. You're not going to get sick from one person. Or some crap like that. My girlfriend tries to tell her we can't let anyone in because then we have to let everybody in, and we aren't the owners. So, the woman goes to snatch the key from my girlfriend and grabs her wrist. My girlfriend is having a panic attack. I should mention my girlfriend has PTSD and anxiety issues. So, I grab the woman's wrist and pressure point her to get her to let go of my girlfriend and shove her and start berating her, using pretty colorful language. She tackles me and I punch her. Cops are called by some passers-by, I guess, and they come over and tear her off of me and ask what the hell happened. Woman tries to argue we assaulted her and that she was just trying to pick up a book for her son. We tell him to check the cameras for the store because we know there are cameras watching the door that see almost into the street. He proceeds to arrest the woman. I get a warning to not be so aggressive next time and my foster's called. I'm 16. Now I'm grounded for fighting and can't leave the house for a month. The next one is titled Wholesome. Life has a way of slowing us down if we let it. This just happened to me earlier on my lunch break. I live in a smallish, aren't they all, Midwestern town. We have two options for groceries, Walmart and a smaller regional chain. Now when you go to the latter of the two, oftentimes you'll end up bagging your own groceries. At least, I do. With being on lunch I wanted to get in and out. So, I offer to have the cashier turn on the belt so I can start bagging myself. Now, as I first get a peek at getting out of the store quickly, I hear the dreaded, "Excuse me." I turn around and it's a nice-looking older great-grandma type. "Are your available help to me with my groceries?" "Of course," I said. "Just let me finish up here quick." I finish bagging and walk around to pay and get out of there. "Oh, you don't work here?" "No ma'am, I just figured you asked for help and I have the time." "Well, you don't have to do that." This went back and forth a few more times before she relented and agreed to let me help her. We made our way to her car with her husband waiting and I threw the groceries in and off I went. She couldn't thank me enough. Tick the season. Happy holidays everyone. The next one is titled, Touched by Satan. I've worked in retail, customer service positions my whole life and frequently get mistaken for an employee when I'm not. I've gotten used to it, and for the most part one understand it. Oftentimes it happens when I am running errands after work in black uniform slacks and the basic shirts I wear underneath my work logo embroidered button-downs. I also carry around a large key ring of jingly keys. I can't really blame people under those circumstances. Anyway, here is my most recent interaction for your, hopefully, enjoyment. I was shopping at a large chain pharmacy on an unusual mission to spend a $400 health benefit card that was about to expire. It only worked on certain items, so I was having to spend a decent amount of time finding things that qualified that my household could actually use. Out of the corner of my eye, I occasionally kept spotting the same little old lady. Over and over, I was catching glances of her peering down aisles at me, I assumed because of my outfit that day. It was my day off and I was wearing my punk rock adjacent, street clothing. I'm used to stares and glares, for even though my style has toned down with age I paid her no mind and kept shopping. About 45 minutes into my mission, my cart was nearly full, and I was focused on reading fine print ingredients on some product. I hear someone's throat clear. I look up and see the little old lady. She looks me up and down several times. I have my hair in a messy rat's nest ponytail on top of my head, black and white striped drainpipe jeans, Doc Martens, and a black t-shirt with "Touched by Satan" in large print and an image of Satan touching someone on the shoulder with a speech bubble saying, "Tag you're it," causing them to burst into flames. I push my glasses back up my nose and look at her. She stares at my shirt. I stare back at her. She adjusts her glasses, clears her throat again, and raises her eyes to meet mine. We make prolonged, awkward eye contact. I'm silent, internally flinching, expecting to get backlash about my shirt, and finally she says, "Do you work here?" I am completely dumbfounded. No I don't." "Oh, that's him. I thought you worked here, since you have a cart filled with so much." Ma'am. I just was hoping for some help finding laundry detergent." "I'm sorry." She pursed her lips and looked puzzled and embarrassed. Well, I don't work here, but I do shop here often, so I know where it is." "Follow me, I'll show you." She made a sound like she was going to protest, but I strode off with confidence to lead her to the detergent she followed. I pointed out the detergent section once we were in eyeshot. After she spotted it, she smiled warmly back at me and said, "Thank you sweetie, you have a good day." I wished her the same and went back to finish my shopping. After a 15+ years of getting grief over my clothing choices, this confusing interaction warmed my heart. The next one is titled, I Am Doing My Job. It's just not with this company. I'm not sure if this 100% fits here, but it is my story about dealing with an entitled Karen. I am a security guard. With the outbreak, we have gotten a lot of new companies and contracts, and there have been several stores that hire my company for mask enforcement. Basically, refusing service for anyone who tries to walk in without a facial covering. This event took place at one of these new contracts for a home improvement shop, one that promises that you can save big money shopping here. My job at this location is extremely simple and narrow. If I see someone walk in without a mask, I stand between them and the gate, inquire as to their lack of mask, and give them the option of purchasing a mask for less than 50 cents at the nearby customer service desk if they do not have one of their own. For the most part, people are kind and understanding. Many of them apologize saying they forgot and quickly dig out a mask from a pocket or a purse and go on about their way. One day, however, I met the Karen. Line up, me, I, myself, security guard, CSE, customer service employee, manager, and Karen is of course the Karen. I had just stopped an elderly gentleman and asked if he had a mask. He laughed, pulled it out of his pocket saying he always forgets, puts it on and walks through the turnstile. As I am having the conversation with him, in walks Karen, staring me down, no mask, and almost runs into the elderly gentleman as she tries to rush past me. I however step in her way with a kind smile. Hello ma'am, do you have a mask today? Karen, no, and I don't need one either. Me, I am sorry, however the store policy states that everyone is required to wear a mask. If you need one you can get one over there, pointing to customer service desk, for just 42 cents. Karen, I told you I don't need a mask, I just need a washing machine. Where are they? Me, I don't know where the washing machines are, however, I can't let you pass this point without a mask. Please either get one on, or see the customer service desk to purchase one. Karen, what do you mean you don't know where the washing machines are? What kind of incompetent worker are you? Me, I am not an employee of this store, I work for a third-party security company. I do not know the store, but you cannot go through these gates without a mask. During this time Karen tries to walk around me multiple times. I keep stepping in front of her, keeping my hands low and calmly repeating, you need a mask, Karen, you obviously work here. And I don't like your attitude, either tell me where I can get a washing machine or get the hell out of my way. Me, she, pointing to CSE, will be more than able to help you find what you need, as well as sell you a mask so you can shop here. At this point CSE realizes that something isn't right, as for the most part as a guard, I smile and wave pace, and don't really interact with customers. So, when I am no longer smiling, standing still, and speaking with a customer, this usually means that something is going wrong. CSE, hello. What can I do to help today? Me, she is looking Karen, I want a washing machine and he refuses to tell me where they are, he just keeps getting in my way and telling me to wear a damn mask. CSE, I am sorry, but he does not work within the store, his job is just to enforce the mask rules. I would be more than happy to help. Do you have a mask today? Karen, no, I don't have a mask and I'm not wearing one. Some long-winded rant about HIPPA and civil rights. CSE, well ma'am, he won't let you in without a mask, and unless you have one, I would be unable to assist you in getting the washing machine you want. Karen, I've had enough, get me your manager now. CSE then gets on her walkie and radios for a manager to come up. Manager, hello, how are you doing today? Karen, I'm doing horrible. Your employees are useless, refuse to help me and won't even let me in the store. I demand you fire them both. Manager, I am sorry, but he, pointing to me, is not an employee here. We hired his company to enforce mask policies. Karen, I've already told you people I won't wear a FANG mask. Now fire these people and help me get my washing machine. At this point she is escalating more and more and is getting very close to the manager, which triggers my training. Normally I am not allowed to go hands-on, however there is an exception when there is a significant threat of violence to myself or employees of the company I am working at, and it's starting to appear as if some violence may happen. Me, ma'am, I am going to need you to calm down and please back away from the manager, we don't want any physical contact. Karen, I'm not talking to you, you're about to be fired anyway, you might as well go home already. Manager, he's not going to be fired, he's doing his job, and I would be more than happy to take you to our washing machines, but you need to get a mask first. Another 5-minute argument during which I am forced to stand between the manager and Karen as she is getting more and more aggressive. The manager took this chance to motion for CSE to call the police. Manager, at this point I am going to have to ask you to leave. I won't have you yelling at our security, or refusing to follow our policies. Karen, I'm not leaving until you fire this hole and I get my washing machine. And get out of my way. Don't you know it's rude to get between two people talking? Manager, he is doing his job making sure no violence happens. We have called the cops, leave now. About 5 minutes later the cops arrive with Karen screaming that we physically assaulted her and hit her when all she wanted to do was get a washing machine, and even after the police reviewed the camera footage she held to her story. As they attempted to trespass her from the store, she swung at me and luckily missed. That however was enough for her to leave the store in handcuffs. I'm not sure why she thought I was an employee. My uniform is grey and black, with a bright red logo, and the store's uniform is a lot of blues and greens, but all's well that ends with Karen in the back of a police car. The next one is titled, The Goodwill Goblin. Before Halloween, I was shopping at Goodwill for pieces of my costume before a party. As I was sifting through the pants, a middle-aged Karen burst through the doors and began screaming so loud that the entire store could hear. She pointed at a poor woman who was checking out items and accused her of stealing her clothing. Apparently, Karen had left a blue striped blouse and a pair of pants hanging off the side of a shopping cart before she left the store for a few hours. She didn't ask the cashiers to hold her items, so they were up for grabs at that point. After wagging her finger in the poor customer's face and trying to take the clothes by force, Karen decided to harass an employee about it. Those were mine. I claimed them and she stole them. Give them back. She screamed in a heavy Polish accent. When the employee told her that she couldn't claim the clothes if she left the store without paying, she began to stomp around and went ballistic. I happened to be looking her way, and being the first person she saw, Karen decided to harass me. Are you seeing this? Make her give them back. Stop working and get my clothing back. I calmly told her that I wasn't an employee, but she didn't stop. You can stop the thief and you're standing there? I will call the cops if you don't take my clothes back. Do your job. The lady checking out the stolen clothing yelled, "She doesn't work here." At that point, the store manager told Karen that she needed to leave the store immediately as she was causing a disturbance. Karen was resistant, but eventually left after having a conversation with the manager. The employees apologized to me about the incident. At least I got the pants.